is Jalen Rose. I'm David Jacoby. We are Jalen and Jacoby. What is it that we do?
Give the people what they want.
The champ will be here. Boxing Hall of Famer, undefeated Layla Ali will join us in just minutes. But we start with tonight, Game 6, NBA Finals. The superstars talked yesterday. Here is what the stars of the finals had to say.
The more you can kind of trick your mind into just being in the moment and staying there, that's the best advice I can give anybody in that situation. Because it's going to be the hardest game you probably ever played in your career.
We are not scared. We do not fear the Golden State Warriors. We want to come out and just play the best version of basketball that we can. We know it's a good team over there. We know they've done it before, but we have all the belief in ourselves.
Do whatever it takes to win, and that can look different from game to game. But we won all those games, and I felt like myself and everybody else did whatever it took, and that's the mindset you got to have.
Jason Tatum still has the ball from when Draymond tried to take it from him. He's still holding the ball from when Draymond tried to take it in Game 5. Let's start with Jason Tatum. He hasn't had a signature game this series. What do you expect from him in Game 6?
So let's stay in the moment, like Steph Curry said, because that's profound advice. And if you look at those sound bites from each of the players, one of those guys has a 3-2 lead, 3 championships, a smile on his face, and is talking about embracing what may happen next. The other 2 gentlemen are still learning and trying to figure out what it's like to win on this stage because this is their first time being there. So for Jaylen Brown, he's telling himself something that comes out when you're in the locker room and you lose the second chance point battle, when you lose the points in the paint battle, when you give up 15 steals. You start to hear, are they scared? And so he immediately has to tell himself, we're not scared of them.
Scared.
We're not scared of them.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. And then the second thing for Tatum is let's do whatever it takes to win. So I'll answer Tatum I'll give Tatum the answer to his question. He has to play like he did the other series. And it has to be good Tatum. It has to be the guy against the Nets that we saw sized up against Kevin Durant. Not only outduel him offensively, but even defensively blocked this shot a couple of times. And so that progressed through the Bucks, even though they were playing without Middleton. Obviously, they still have Giannis. It progressed through the Heat, even though Jimmy Butler was terrific. So they're going to need Jason Tatum to elevate his play like his status has elevated throughout this postseason. The next thing he has to do, the curse, is stop shooting air balls.
No air balls.
Like I pay attention to them helium balls. And the one thing I notice is when you make 1 or 2 shots and then you shoot an air ball, that's crazy deflating. That's crazy. Because think about when somebody shoots an air ball, it's the equivalent of somebody having a turnover. Sometimes you see guys looking at their hands, young ladies looking at their hands, what just happened? Oh, you shoot an air ball, no, it's not the wind. You know what I mean? You didn't get it blocked, and you didn't get fouled. You know what I'm saying? And so playing through contact is something Tatum has to do. Finish at the paint. Go to dunk the ball. Not real elite rim protection by the Golden State Warriors. Yeah, Wiggins is an amazing athlete and can match him, and Draymond Green and Looney contest really well. But it's not Rudy Gobert at the basket. You got to continue to attack, and that's what I expect to see from Jason Tatum tonight.
So something that's interesting about the Warriors this postseason is every time in every series they've had an opportunity to close out the other team, but they didn't do it in the first closeout game of the series. Look at these numbers. Do you think that makes Game 6 a good opportunity for the Celtics? Do you think this pattern will continue?
Definitely a great sign for the Celtics, but also I want to acknowledge Denver without Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray. Memphis, that blowout, Ja Morant wasn't even playing.
They were down by 55 in that game, dog. They were down by 55.
Was not even playing. And Dallas was like, you know what? We need Christian Wood. You know what I mean? Like, these guys up front, like, come get all of these guys. Boban out here blocking kids' shots. We need him blocking shots in an NBA game. Come get whoever y'all want. Y'all can take our first-round pick, and Woods is going to be a great pickup for the Mavs. But for the Celtics, I do think returning home does bode well for them in this situation. Jacoby, I believe both teams get their best players to perform at their best. The difference is going to be playing at home and the role players. Marcus Smart, Al Horford, Derek White. But here's a guy I'm also watching for, Grant Williams.
Yeah.
See, Grant Williams had 27 points in the closeout game versus the Bucks. Ain't seen him since. Ain't really seen him since. He had his moments against Miami, but here's what he has to do. When he gets in the game in the first half, don't get in foul trouble. Like, you can't come in the game and immediately get 1 foul, 2 fouls. Look at the refs. Tangled up with Draymond Green, talking to his teammates, looking back at the coaches, and then he's out of the game mentally. And so I think he'll also be locked in. They're playing at home, as I mentioned. The Boston Celtics, I believe, force a Game 7.
So there is a roadmap to success for the Celtics. It's win Game 6 and then anything can happen in Game 7. I'm glad you brought up Grant Williams because that's the roadmap. Because that Game 7 performance from Grant Williams brought them past the Bucks. And it was just an anomaly. He had such a huge game, and that is the roadmap for the Celtics. We get 6 at home, and then anything can happen in 7. However, there is something that's a little blockade in the road for the Celtics, and those are the 3 words that we discussed yesterday. Those 3 words are Game 6 Clay. Jalen, I have the Warriors winning tonight because of those 3 words. We know what Game 6 Clay has done in the past, and we know what Game 6 Clay can do. Look at these numbers and tell me, again, that you have the Celtics winning tonight.
It's only right that Game 6 Clay shows up. And Jacoby, I've been at multiple Game 6s where he went off. Like, it started with the Oklahoma City Thunder and KD when they were up, and then all of a sudden, KD joined their team. KD joined their team.
Klay Thompson shot KD onto his own team.
Right. It happened a couple of times, I believe, against the Rockets.
Yep.
You know, remember they were 7 seconds or less, trying to break all of the records, playing micro, small ball, and doing all of that. Klay Thompson did the public enemy, shut him down, shot him down. And then so I do anticipate him playing well. I anticipate Steph Curry also responding and playing well. But I got 3 words for you, which is going to make sure this goes back to Golden State. Banning fake Klay. That's the 3 words I got for you. Since that happened, it's only right that it's 1 more game this season. And this ain't the Oracle. And Too Short was at the game, got a chance to kick it with him. And E40 Fonzarelli, you saw Jay-Z and Baby Blue at the game. And Too Short had the nerve to come up to me and tell me, yeah, man, this crowd, they're starting to sound like Oracle. No, it's not. No, it's not. Too Short, you just happy they won.
You should know better.
Mr. Fab, we're going to
better.
have both of y'all come on the show. Klay will ball tonight, but the Celtics role players will be the difference. This will have a 7-game series. So much so you're going to appreciate this, Jacoby. I wish I had my ticket. I literally left my suit with the bellman for Game 7 in San Fran.
No, you did not. No,
Yes,
you
I
did
did.
not. We're breaking news
Yes,
right
I
now with
did.
Jalen Jacoby. You left a suit in the Bay because you're that confident that you're going back to the Bay. You know what? I got to open up my gambling app. If I didn't know that, dog. Why I already bet on the Warriors, dog. Why didn't you tell me earlier?
Literally, when I did get up yesterday, I had came from the hotel. I was going to do the show and go to the airport. I literally showed the ticket to where I left my suit with the bellman at the telly because I ain't planning on going back.
Jalen Rose, Draymond Green was asked about the comparison of facing these Celtics versus other teams he's faced in the finals that featured LeBron James, and here is what Draymond had to say.
It doesn't compare to like mentally playing against LeBron James, who I think is arguably one of the arguably smartest guy to ever play this game. Not one of. He's arguably the smartest guy to step foot on a basketball court. And so to say that it compares to that, it's disrespectful to LeBron, and it's a lie to you. Now, in saying that, it is a challenge.
Jalen, it's the NBA Finals. The Lakers didn't even make the play-in, but here we are talking about LeBron again. Here we are talking about LeBron again. It's ESPN. Gotta talk about LeBron. Gotta talk about LeBron. What do you think about what Dede said?
But he's an all-time great, and Draymond Green is right. The intellect that LeBron brings to the table has basically been unmatched in the history of the NBA. But the undercurrent of what he's saying is what I truly believe. If these were fighters and they were on the scales in their boxing shorts or their tighty whities, I would be like, the Celtics should win this fight. I would say, like, they're younger, they're bigger, they're stronger, they're physically opposing defensively at multiple positions. But it's like when you show up at the park, the OGs still win.
That's it. That finals experience.
Always runs faster, has the oohs and ahs, can dunk on me, all of that. But then the old school put you on their hip, turn around, get to their spot, and win the game. And that's what I feel like is going to happen in this series. It's going to take a 7-game series, and he's going to have to play. And the guy that he just went around, let me just say this. I applaud Robert Williams III being out there because he's clearly injured.
He's hurt.
But if he's going to be out there, I need a double-double. Because Wiggins grabbing those boards. So I need him to grab some of those boards. The other thing, Al Horford, 26 points in game 1, 30 total points the rest of the series. And I mentioned Grant Williams. Those guys up front have to not only match Draymond Green's intensity, but also score enough points to make it lopsided between what Looney, Draymond, and Otto Porter are going to bring to the table if the Celtics are going to win.
That is a great point. Jalen Rose, we have the honor, the privilege